welcome everyone. This is Edwin O'Vera from Edwin O'Vera Dance and Creative Services, and given the special honor and privilege to be here with my great friend. Her name is Mary Ellen Beaudreau, also known by the name of Mellon or Mount St. Magellan or wherever else we can call her to ruin her name. Nevertheless, we're here at the American Players Theater in Wisconsin at a place called Spring Green, Wisconsin. This is a pretty big regional theater here in the Midwest, and without further ado, we have Mary Ellen.
Yes.
So, Mary, the question I have for people,
if we just
like this,
spoke like this.
Yeah, just direct. So we're at the venue. We're waiting right before the show, about to do the review. And what show are we doing?
Pride and Prejudice, directed by Tyne Raffaelli.
Tyne Raffaelli. So there's a special moment that's happening right now because Mary Ellen is the first choreographer, movement director that they've ever had in over 30 years, right? So since founding this company, so that's pretty amazing.
So they've had fight directors and they've had some choreographers, but not with any formal training. So what I've been doing
is fighting these mosquitoes, because what you might not know, there's tons of mosquitoes and they bite. But here's the thing.
We are in nature.
What's so special about Mary Ellen is that we both had the chance to work together in a world-renowned company called Pilobolus Dance Theater. I met Mary Ellen through a friend of mine's, a mutual friend named Annika Schief, and Mary Ellen was able to work with me in some of the Pilobolus Institute projects, as well as become a member of the main company and performing with them at the Juilliard Theater. But there's more. Right now, Mary Ellen is, where are you at right now, so people know?
So I'm studying for my master's in choreography at the Trinity Laban Conservatoire in England, London, England.
London, England.
Yes.
And this is a big moment in your life, because there's this change that's happening. And I keep saying it to you all the time, that these are pivotal moments in our careers and what we're doing. And maybe right now we might not see the effects, but it will ripple into other components of our life, especially a project like of this magnitude, as well as the connections that you made in London. And these mosquitoes are really, really intense. I'm bleeding everywhere now. But here's the other thing. What got you started into movement? At what age, and what was your background prior to becoming what you're doing now?
So my background is in classical ballet, specifically the Russian technique called Vaganova. And I started when I was 4 in the basement of a Baptist church in my hometown. And I was inspired to dance because I saw my brother do tap dance, my older brother. And I also was a big fan of the Lawrence Welk Show.
Who's that?
The Lawrence Welk Show was a PBS show where it was this guy from the Midwest who introduced a lot of old-timey Dixieland dance groups on about 6 p.m. every Sunday on Channel 13.
I have to look into this.
Yeah, it was riveting. And then I studied really hard and I practiced really hard. And I started professionally dancing with Festival Ballet Providence and then San Francisco Ballet at the age of 16.
Oh, wow.
And
when did you get in? So then when did you get into college then?
So then I was up for promotion at San Francisco Ballet, and I didn't get it. So a friend of mine had auditioned for Juilliard, and my mother encouraged me
to go and audition.
I auditioned and I got a scholarship to go. So that's where I ended up, and I studied modern dance there, and I subsequently worked with RUBBERBANDance.
Which is based out of Montreal. Yeah, there's a great group fusing hip hop and ballet, right? Breakdancing and ballet. Wow.
And then after that, I worked with North Carolina Dance Theater, and from there, worked with Pilobolus.
And then you did your own things. I think it's a moment that we should share that, because it was a huge event, as in for yourself, a project. How long? What was it about? And then how long did it take you to do it?
So I actually started working with this director now, Tyne Raffaelli, through Columbia University working on plays and theater specifically, and I acted a little bit. And so this is actually our 12th production together over 5 years. And I did my own choreography in New York when I was living there. The big one was Ballet Confessions, and that was a soul-produced, directed, funded, choreographed, and sound designed by myself. And that took 2 years to build, and it was performed last May 2014 at Judson Memorial Church.
And it got good reviews, right?
It got good reviews. It was noted in Time Out New York, and sold out 2 shows. And
Wow.
Subsequently working with Oriel Peer on the film version of that. So
And Oriel's the guy who does stuff for Pilobolus, right? Did stuff. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We've all moved on.
we've all.
But we appreciate where
We appreciate where we
came
came from. We admire the hard work and effort. I mean, this is the beauty about performing arts, is that there's a lot of hard work, behind the scenes stuff that people don't know about. Like, you know, when you put on your production, there's all those different hats you have to do. The same thing when I did my 7 performing arts series. Finding the talent, negotiating contracts, making sure I had all the things logistically, from the insurance to contracts between myself and talent. And, I mean, God, I forgot. Noise variation sound, you know, like.
A lot of it is business administration that you don't ever anticipate how much that
is done for you.
Or in a company setting,
Yeah, in a
where
company
the
setting.
schedule and where the motivation and everything like that, when you're doing a sole project, has to come from yourself, but it has to be in stages, because you can't shoot your wads, so to speak, in every day. You need to have a break.
Yeah,
so that's a big thing.
Because there's so much time invested in that project, sometimes in seclusion, sometimes with other people.
Yeah.
You can get mentally burnt out, and the key thing is pacing. You know, how much can you do in a day that's realistic, and be satisfied with all the small wins.
And knowing that you also need somebody on your side to help motivate you. So I would be calling this guy a lot and saying, what am I doing? How is this working? Why am I doing this? Who's it for? Because really, in a place like New York or anywhere, to be an artist is a lot of dedication and very little payoff. So both financially and soulfully, it's really tough. So you need your friends, you need your family to support you in some way, whether it's emotionally or financially at times. And then also having somebody to help produce with you is really important. A friend of mine who worked at PBS actually found me through Judson Memorial Church through a showing, and had encouraged me for an entire year to produce this solo show. And so really she was my cheerleader. Her name was Jess Duda.
Just do that.
And so beyond anything, even the website support and helping get funders in and meeting people at the times and all that stuff.
Well, it's great when somebody can, one, talk on your behalf, two, be your cheerleader in your corner when the times are tough, because one, you appreciate them forever, ever, and always, and two, you can't always do it alone. It takes a team to make a production to come together. So we have a director coming. We're doing an interview, a video interview.
Oh shit!
No worries. Come in for a second so we can see you.
So I want to introduce you to my collaborator and the director of this production. This way. This is Tyne Raffaelli, who I mentioned before.
Hi, hello.
This is our 12th production. She's incredible, and
Takes one to know one.
We're just doing a quick conversation for my blog
takes.
about
good.
the effort and the hard work it takes to put on productions, as well as have cheerleaders on your side to support you when you're doing something where you're like, I'm gonna go do this full commitment, and then sometimes you might have doubt, and sometimes you realize that you need those the angels on your shoulder telling you that you're doing the right thing and that you must continue going forward to finish that task that you started off with.
Absolutely, it's essential.
It's totally essential.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, sure. We have just.
It's in your bag.
Yeah.
Thanks.
as she smokes a cigarette, we'll continue.
Yeah, my show's on in half an hour. Sorry.
Here's a couple other things I'd like to. If there was one comment that you would say to young performing artists who are up and coming, or just are interested in the field of being as a freelance artist, what would that one suggestion be?
You can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I think that your drive and willingness to succeed is essential, as well as the hard work and in taking yourself there as far as you can, but you absolutely need the support system. And that support system is actually can come in any shape, in any form.
Yeah.
And it can actually surprise you. So when you sort of like Noah's Ark, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And you will feel very much alone a lot of the time, but know that you're not. So in those times of questioning, have a few people that you can call. Don't always go to the same person. As my best friend from the age of 4 has always said, allow each person you know 20 minutes of your problems max.
Great. Where do you get inspiration from? Other than, like, say, people giving you support, that's where you get support from, but where do you get, like, artistic inspiration? What makes the sparks or the juices up here, the creative juices, start going wild? Is it a piece of poetry? Is it other art? Is it just people walking?
I mean, I think when I look for inspiration, I can't find it. But when I see that I need to keep working on something creative, that's essential for me to survive.
Yeah.
And just knowing that the inspiration might not come at all in a process, but the fact that you keep working to find it is really great. And a lot of the times it's committing yourself to one idea. Because you could have 15 ideas that could potentially be great.
Yeah.
But even if you pick one and stick to it, follow through and end it,
Yeah.
that's more valuable than having lots of ideas.
Because you go through the whole process of that, right?
Yeah.
You get to explore that one concept. Like, one thing that I remember Robbie Barnett talking about, just be generous. And also Jonathan Walken, just be generous with that idea. Take that one idea and see how many options you can play with it, right? Or even, so that's super important.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I know it's kind of like, where do you see yourself in the next, say, year or 2 years?
It's funny because I used to plan out my life.
Yeah.
And I found a lot of anxiety out of that. And right now I'm just going step by step and only looking 2 feet ahead.
Yeah.
I'm pretty frugal and fiscally responsible, so I know that's been on my track to find something that has more substance for me to live more securely as an artist. But really, my aim is to continue being a movement director for theater and also choreographing for opera and ballets, and just being as open to whatever experiences and work come my way.
Yeah.
And really ask myself the questions: what's the cost? What's the worth? Does it require creative input? Does it require something that would be of interest?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to pick gigs that don't necessarily speak to you creatively, but help you financially.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a balance.
Yeah.
But I would say that in this world where it's hard enough, you really have to go for what you're passionate about and what you're creatively inclined to do.
And sometimes, I pose that question too because it's also a mirror reflection to myself. I'm a guy that tends to be like this, it's because of my military background.
Yeah,
and what I found about that is that, you can't always force your vision to come true. And even though I made these vision boards and all these things of what I wanted to manifest, I realized some of the stuff that I made three years ago, only now is it manifesting. The people, the connections, the potential clients.
It's consistency, isn't it?
I think it's just a little bit of consistency every single day, even setting aside 2 or 3 hours worth of time to focus that you want to try to achieve this goal, and know that even if you put steps like this to make it happen, that you're going to be doing this weird zigzagging pattern. But the thing is, the beauty of it is that you're still propelling yourself forward. So although it looks like this, a lot of weaving, but that weaving slowly starts becoming less and less because you're finally getting to the spot you need to go.
Right.
But it took me 3 years to understand that concept that, like, you can't always place one step in front of the other. Now I only plan out for 6 months in advance because we don't know what goes beyond 6 months.
Right. And the crazy thing about freelance is that when you put it out there and when you network and when you find a community that supports you, things will come. You can't expect them to come. You still have to work forward.
Yeah.
But it's that, we talked about this earlier, that you have to find a community. You can't be isolated. And it's easy to be isolated when you're thinking creatively.
Yeah, I was telling Mary Ellen, one of my goals for this year is to literally go out and meet and genuinely meet, because when people say networking, it becomes like a utilitarian thing.
And then it becomes inhuman, actually.
Yeah, it becomes inhuman. Then you're
Yeah.
only thinking about you're thinking about a price or a project versus like, it doesn't matter how successful somebody is. They got stress. They have issues with love. They have issues with being lonely. They have issues with finance. So it's like, or they have a birthday that just happened that was really magical to them, or maybe somebody passed away and they're mourning that loss. It's like, I'm interested in just literally talking with another human, and not necessarily through social media, through the one-on-one chemistry of two people meeting, talking, and sharing a conversation that is not about business.
And another
business
thing,
will come when somebody trusts and admire what you're doing.
Well, and another thing to do is, a big one for me, and I'm still learning this, is don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes asking is actually helping another person.
Yeah.
So
helping them, because they're like, oh wow,
what can I
can share this.
Yeah, like I've always wanted to be a part of a creative endeavor, but and I have a lot of money, but I don't want to be fed into a board.
Yeah.
So that's actually beneficial to a lot of smaller companies and a lot of individual artists to ask individually, find the people on the boards, make a relationship with them. If it's not the right connections, just like dating, that doesn't work. Maybe you'll just get advice. But that you can't be afraid to ask for things clearly, because when you are transparent with your ideas as well as your needs, it becomes clear that people like to help. Some people like to help
and share, and I think being generous with your ideas with another person, but the key thing is letting people know that sometimes you can give people advice, but if they're not ready for it, then it's not going to register. It's not going to sink in. So I have two more questions to ask you before the mosquitoes really attack us like crazy.
About 2 more minutes.
Sure. So what's like, say this is random, but what's like your favorite dessert?
Right now it's Culver's custard.
Culver's is only Wisconsin, so if you really want to try some Culver's, you better get your butt to Wisconsin.
Yes.
And they're regionally, or actually it's only Wisconsin-based business, so I highly recommend supporting Wisconsin all the way, as long as we can cheese. Okay, and what's the last book that you were reading?
Youth Without God.
Youth Without God. What's it about? Quickly.
It's
up to the point you're at now.
It's a book written by a Hungarian writer, Rudolf von Hortzfatz. I'm probably saying the name wrong. But he was in Germany, and this was written in 1938, year before he passed away. Gross.
Yeah.
And basically he writes in the perspective of a school teacher who failed a student who wrote derogatory words against black people.
Oh, wow.
And then he subsequently was fired because he was informing something that was not supported by the Nazi regime. So it's about that perspective, about not having morals as a community, as a people, and what happens when people are moralists. When they don't have any belief system except for a regime. And that's kind of, I think that we're not far away from that right now.
Especially here in America, even general, when you look at the world.
Yeah, that we need something to believe in, we need something to have faith in, and we need to see each other. I think that there'll be a master's program in eye contact pretty soon. Going on that, this is what we'll finish up with, but both Ellen and I have been in school for the last year. I've been finishing off my BA in dance, and she's going for her MFA in MA in choreography. And the one thing I've been noticing, especially in a lot of my general classes, is that a lot of people are checking out. They're so checked out, they're so stuck on these devices, and they're forgetting that the human interaction is so much more powerful and genuine than looking at a damn screen, telling somebody you love them, versus seeing them in their eyes and letting them know that you care for him or her. So I do believe that people have to have a limited amount of time with social media and a lot of time with social interaction. So what's one way people can find you, whether it's socially? What's the best way to do it? Well, I'm currently working on my website.
Okay. But do you have a name that's already registered? Or?
Soon to be. It would be Mary Ellen.
MaryEllen.com. It'll be there.
Mary Ellen Beaudreau, Beaudreau.com.
Perfect.
Or I'm also on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Should be so inclined. And you can also check out my website and the last show that I did, balletconfessions.com.
Perfect. And you know what's so great about Mary Ellen and I doing this video is that I would say for the last 3 or 4 years, you and I have been doing these goofy, off-the-wall, physical comedy videos, and it's nice to just be people and just sharing time together. So thank you, Mary
And
Ellen.
on that note,
Over the top. I won. All right. See you soon.